Yo guys, what's up? Axon back with another video here today. Now, we doing another tier list. Now, last time we did the Raiden tier list, kind of controversial. I heard a lot of your comments, right? I am making a couple changes from some of the comments. I'll get to them when I get to the character, but what we're really here for is Kokomi. Kokomi has just been added to the game, and we got a ranker just like how I rank every other character. Starting off, let's go Diona. Diona S tier, pretty easy. Gives heals, gives shields, gives cryos, pretty much does everything. Sucrose S plus tier. One of my favorite supports in the game. A good battery for someone like Xiao or any animal DPS you have. Can give good swirl, gives good elemental mastery, gives pretty much just increases your damage overall, and can hoard enemies pretty good. Now Albedo, I'm actually kind of debating on this one, right? Last tier list, I had him S minus, but I'm really feeling like Albedo might be S tier. We've had two Zhongli reruns, and this is just a leak, but Albedo is said to come back, not next update, but the update after that. Albedo is, rumored to get a rerun. Don't take my word for it, but that's what I'm hearing. And I really feel like I'm putting Albedo because I praise Sucrose for giving elemental mastery, and I feel like I should do the same for Albedo. So I'll leave him here. I'll decide where I'm going to have him at the end. So I'm going to put him at S tier for right now. Yoimiya. Now, Yoimiya is interesting, right? Because you either love her or you hate her, right? Last tier list, I had her S minus. I'm going to have her S tier for right now. Just because, she's kind of proven that she's been more useful with, with Raiden. And I think Diluc, speaking of Diluc, I think they're kind of on the same tier, right? They kind of do the same thing. They can only really attack a single enemy. Sometimes Diluc can attack a bunch of enemies with his ults, but Yoimiya can kind of do the same. So I feel like they're on the same tier. So I'm giving Yoimiya an upgrade from my last tier list. Right, next character I have is Bennett. We obviously know he's top three characters in the game. Can't prove me wrong. Bennett is so good. If you have him, you know what I'm talking about. Let me say this before I even get further, but I'm going to be ranking these characters from C0, so Albedo C0, and I'm probably going to be ranking the 4 stars from C2 and below, right? Every character who is a 4-star, they're C2, and that's it, right? We're not talking about C6 Bennett, right? Because C6 Bennett is worse than C5. We're just talking about C2 Bennett, and we're talking about C0 5 stars, because most people are free to play, and if you're not free to play, then you're a whale, and you really don't need this tier list. So next character is Xingqiu, S plus tier. I'm really thinking about turning this to a top 5. I might change it at the end of the video, but for right now, it's a top 3. But Xingqiu would definitely be a candidate if I had a top 5. Venti also will be a candidate for if I have top 5, but right now he's just a candidate, right? Because Venti is really good. He can just sends out his ults and he just destroys everything. Child is getting a rerun, right? I think he's S tier though, right? When you pair him with Xiangling, he's definitely an S plus tier character, but by himself, like just individually as a character, he is S tier, and he is really good, but C0 Child kind of has his weaknesses. C1 is probably a better version because your E doesn't have that much of a big cooldown. That's why I have him S tier. I'm a Child. I used to be a Child main, and just that cooldown was just not my favorite thing to play around. B plus Amber. The reason I have B plus because I should really preface this. No one in this game is bad. Amber is not bad of a character. You probably can complete Spiral Abyss 3-star if you build your Amber right. It's gonna be pretty hard, but you still can do it. That's why I don't have like an F tier. Next up, Mona, S tier. I don't think she's as good as Sucrose, because Sucrose, she gives that swirl and it just lowers people's elemental res, gives extra elemental mastery, hoards people, while Mona can only immobilize small units and give water interaction. Of course, she can semi-hoard with your taunt, but I feel like Sucrose is the superior character. The Traveler, let me explain this, right? For my last video, I got comments saying Geo Traveler should be higher, right? I believe Geo Traveler with Zhongli is probably an S minus character. Electro Traveler, S minus character, right? And speaking of Wind Traveler, I think they are A plus Traveler, right? This character, because they don't have the Electro Traveler here, this represents the Electro Traveler. The Geo Traveler would probably be right here. But if you have Zhongli, Geo Traveler's up here, or maybe even up here just because of Geo Resonance. But Electro Traveler, just baseline by himself, is right here because I am really high in the Electro Traveler. He's really good. Gives you energy for any elemental class you are, and you know, kind of as a mini beta ult. I'm really high on the Electro Traveler. I made a whole video about it. You can go watch why I am really high in the Electro Traveler. Xiao, definitely an S+ tier character. With his new Spiral Abyss, with these rune guards, he's really great because he does AoE damage, you know, AoE animal damage, right? Super good. Xiao, just a really good character. You don't even need constellations. Like, his constellations don't even make him that good. He's just really good by himself. Kujo-Sara, S- character, right? Can buff, kind of buggy, right? She seems really clunky to me, but she can buff, and that's very valuable in this game. Yanfei, S- tier character, because I feel Yanfei and Ningguang are kind of at the same level. I think Yanfei kind of does less damage than a Ningguang, but Yanfei kind of makes it up for her interactions, and Ningguang doesn't really have interactions, but she does really good damage. Yeah, Ningguang kind of makes up for the damage, so I think these are, you know, kind of two characters in the same tier. I got comments that kind of convinced me that these two characters should really be on the same tier, because Yanfei, she really needs her constellations. Like, once you have her C6, she does really good damage, in my opinion. Razor, S- tier character, you know, physical damage, not the best in the game, and he's not even the best physical damage character in the game. But Razor, just a very good baseline character. The more constellations you have with him, the better he gets. Jean, now last tier list I hear S tier, but with healing in this game being really ramped up because floor 11, I might have her in the S- tier. She does pretty much, I think she's the second best healer right behind Bennett. So I think I'm gonna promote Jean to S+ tier. This is where I'm gonna have Jean right now. This is where I'm gonna keep her for right now. That's where we're gonna leave her. Now, time to talk about Ayaka. Now, Ayaka was the character I got the most comments about, right? Everyone was saying, put Ayaka higher, put Ayaka higher. I've heard your comments, right? I will put Ayaka higher. There's a lot of good comments convincing me why I should have Ayaka S+ tier, but there were comments saying that Ayaka was as good as Ganyu, and I'm not convinced on that, right? I've had comments saying that C6 Ayaka is better than C6 Ganyu. I don't know how true that is, because I've seen Ganyu's constellations and they're really good, and you know, Ganyu with a good weapon I think is better than Ayaka with a good weapon. So I still believe, I'm a firm believer, Ganyu is better than Ayaka. You really can't convince me on that. But Ayaka, we will promote her S+ tier. You know, Dash, not so much. It's kind of clunky in my opinion. You cannot convince me Ayaka Dash is good, okay? It's quirky, but not good. Lisa, A tier. Physical comps, pretty good. Very few physical comps, but when you need Lisa, she's decent. Her animations are kind of slow. Her charge attack is kind of slow. But, you know, she does a promotion from Amber. I think she is a tier better than Amber. Now, Zhongli. Zhongli, things are not looking good for you next update. You know, they're going to have enemies that just apply corrosion. You know, floor 11, you know, kind of looking tough for Zhongli, you know. But floor 12, he's still a god. He's still a beast. He's still an Archon, right? Zhongli's still a great character in the game. Floor 11, you know, kind of treating him kind of wrong. But next update, we might have to have a talk about where Zhongli stands in this top 3. But he's still top 3, maybe 2, right? Letting you know, guys, none of these tiers are ordered. So if you get mad, oh, why is Diona above Diluc? I don't have it ordered, guys, okay? I don't not have any of these tiers ordered. So don't get mad. Sucrose is above Xiao or Sucrose is above Venti. That's not how we're going to go. Alright, maybe I might order them at the end of the video if I have time, but right now, they're not ordered, guys. Until I say they're ordered, okay? Hu Tao, C0, kind of hard to play, but shield meta, you know, probably Hu Tao C0, you're gonna have a really hard time playing with her, especially with floor 11 where shields are kind of getting hard to play with. But Hu Tao, you really gotta work with her in C0, but I think she still deserves her S+ tier spot. Obviously C1 makes her really easier to use to get that high damage, but C0 just gotta have a shield and gotta freeze enemies to really get the maximum damage, and you know, not have a hard time playing, and you know, save up that stamina for your heavy attacks. Keqing, I've got Keqing recently, but I'm not high on Keqing. She is Electro, S- tier character for me. I think she's on the level of Razor in my opinion. Xiangling, I had her S tier last time. I think I'm probably gonna promote her. I've I've gotten experience. I level 80 her. I've had her for level 70 just because I'm not really high. I'm not a really big fan of Xiangling. I used to be, but you know, I'll put him over for S plus tier character because I know, because for Xiangling you need to have a Bennett, which you know is, in my opinion, one of the best characters in the game to optimally use Xiangling, because there is no other battery for her in this game besides Bennett. So that's why I kind of have her S tier. But you know, I could say the same thing for Xiao, where you need to have a Sucrose or Jean as your battery. So I kind of did sound contradictory on that one, so I'll put Xiangling higher, because the same thing you can say for you know, Xiao or someone like Hu Tao, right? So Xiangling, I'll put her S plus tier as well. Qiqi, S tier. Her gameplay is kind of clunky in my opinion. That's what kind of holds her back. You really do need to know how to play Qiqi to really optimize her. Having every attack as pyro is pretty good, but I don't think she's on the level S plus tier in my opinion. She is really good, but just not on that level. Kokomi. I need to hold off for Kokomi a little bit, okay? I can't do Kokomi right now, because that would be a kind of a whole rant in by itself. Kaya, a S minus tier. Really good as a DPS, really good as a sub DPS, really good as a burst support, really good as a support. He's really good in general. Kaya is really good is what I'm trying to say. I think Kaya is a really good character in my opinion, right? Some people tend to underrate him, but he is really good. I'm really high on Kaya. I think he is at the level of Rosaria. I think Rosaria and Kaya, in my opinion, are kind of at the same level. You know, Rosaria obviously gives some crit, but I think Kaya is probably the better, you know, just overall damage dealer, because he's really good in freeze comps. Rosaria kind of just has her ults, you know, her E is pretty good. It gives her, you know, crit to your DPS, but I feel like they're kind of on the same level in my opinion, right? I kind of use them both on my Eula team, and to me, they kind of do the same thing, right? Just, you know, one gets more crit, one gives me more cryo damage in my opinion, right? Aloy, whatever you want to call her, because people will complain about how I say her name, right? I don't have much information on her, right? I don't have her. I didn't log into PS4, but what I can see is she does have the damage of a 5-star, but you know, just kind of not that good, right? I would rather have better options. I would rather have Kyra or Rosaria on my team before I have Aloy or Alloy, whatever you want to say. Beidou, it's either S tier or S minus tier. Last time I had her S minus tier. I'll put her S tier for now. Beidou is really good. The reason I would promote her is because this new Spiral Abyss has a bunch of these rune guards where physical damage is kind of low-key not that good, right? So Keqing and Razor, who are other Electro DPS, are really physical DPS in my opinion, because most people build Razor and Keqing as physical DPS. There's very rare times you build Keqing as an Electro DPS, because physical DPS is better in my opinion, because in my opinion Beidou was always just a pure electro damage main DPS. So that's kind of why I'm bumping her up, is because these rune guards on the last chamber of floor 12. Keqing and Razor are not the best options, and Beidou kind of has skyrocketed as a better option in my opinion between Razor and Keqing. That's why I'm bumping her up. Now Eula, in my opinion, the best physical DPS in the game currently. You know, she just has crazy damage, right? Even though she's a physical DPS, her, you know, her damage is just crazy in my opinion. I am a Eula main, so you know, maybe I have some bias, but Eula S plus tier character, it is kind of tough for her at the last chamber, but you know, she's still good in every other thing. So in my opinion, I still were S plus tier, but you know, she kind of is hanging on there. You know, that floor 12 chamber 3, not looking good for Eula in my opinion. Barbara, A plus tier character. I even might consider S minus with this corrosion stuff, but you know, maybe next update, because I hear bleed is becoming a new thing that they might add. So you know, Barbara might even bump up there. You know, healers might get a bump, but for right now, I have her A plus tier. C6 Barbara is crazy. C6 Barbara, I definitely would have her S minus, but we ain't doing a C6 tier list, right? Ganyu top 3. Ganyu, in my opinion, best DPS in the game. Cannot convince me otherwise. Ganyu's just too good in my opinion, right? If you have a Ganyu, you should definitely build her. And you know, they're saying a Ganyu rerun, leaks of course, that is coming back, and probably will be the most summoned on banner, because Ganyu is undoubtedly, in my opinion, the best DPS. Xiao, definitely one of the most fun characters in the game. but I would put her S plus here. She is just kind of, you know, just there to swirl interactions. Obviously swirl is a pretty good interaction, but you know, when you have someone like Sucrose, and also 4-star that everyone should have, and even Animal Traveler can give you a decent animal, you know, interaction. Obviously Xiao can give you more consistently, but you would have to have Xiao out on the field, you know, a lot. So in my opinion, just not on the same level, right? Traveler can kind of do the same thing, but you know, as a better support, in my opinion, doesn't really get the job done and doesn't really work with good DPS, right? Chongyun, I will have him A+ here. He is a character that you really have to commit to. Every constellation kind of makes him better, similar to someone like Razor. You know what? I'm actually putting Chongyun S- in my opinion. Chongyun is really good with this new chamber. I'm putting Chongyun S-. I am actually a Chongyun fan. I've become more you know, leaning to Chongyun. I'm gonna put Chongyun here for right now because I'm actually looking, and I feel like taking Chongyun into the Spiral Abyss is a better option now than Razor, or is on the same level, because floor 12, chamber 3, you know, I honestly think Chongyun is a better option than Razor in my opinion. So I'm gonna put him on the same tier because Razor is a lot more proven in all the other floors, but Chongyun in floor 12 I think outperforms Razor in my opinion. Fischl S- here. I know a lot of people are high on Fischl, right? A lot of people love Fischl, but I am not one of those people, right? I see that Fischl is a turret, right? She gives a turret, but electro damage, not the best, you know, interaction to have as a turret, right? If she was a hydro turret, if she was a cryo turret, I think she'd be a lot better. But Fischl really good, can have a like 100% uptime on her E. But in my opinion, not the best support in my opinion. I feel like all the supports above her are better in my opinion, right? I'm not high in Fischl as other people are. Raiden, S+ tier character. I made a video about her last time for my last tier list. And Raiden, definitely S+ tier character for me. Really good, gives good energy recharge. The only bad side about her is that she doesn't work good with Beidou. You know, Genshin really needs to fix that, but we don't even know if they're ever going to fix it. So Raiden, really good, gives good damage with her ult, even at C0 in my opinion. I have her C0 and she works fine, great with Eula, great damage, great energy recharge. Her E is great, it's just like a baby Fischl E. You can even consider it better than Fischl, but Fischl obviously gives the better damage on the E. Raiden kind of gives the, you know, your DPS, whoever's using it, more damage. So Raiden's just a better support in my opinion than someone like a Fischl, and deserves her S+ tier spot in my opinion. Qiqi, we could avoid Kokomi for as long as it can. A+ tier character, A+ tier character, you know, heals. She can barely do any damage in my opinion, right? She's really out there just to give heals. The whole argument between, you know, Qiqi is better than Kokomi because, you know, she can crit. Obviously, it's kind of a meme at this point. Qiqi is kind of the face of the revolution, which, you know, was a kind of toxic time period for a couple weeks, right? But Qiqi, probably the best healer in the game, right? In just pure heals, right? I'm not saying like the best healer, but like, you know, obviously Bennett is the best healer in the game in my opinion, but Qiqi heals the best because she has the steals, she has her E, you know, just great, you know, healing. If you ever just need a pure healer, Qiqi is always the best option, but obviously Bennett, Diana, you know, someone like Jean are obviously better options to have on the team because they do more than just healing. Xingqiu, A+ tier character. Wait, A+ tier? Nah, A tier. She is very buggy. Shield, not that good. I built my Xingqiu. I even had a showcase on my video where I gave her Eula's like godlike artifacts, but Xingqiu, in my opinion, just kind of lackluster. As a DPS, she's lackluster. As a support, her shields are not the best because they are kind of buggy. That's why I have her A tier. Noelle, same thing. And there is a lot of comments saying Noelle C6 is S- or S tier. But who at C6 is not bad, right? Everyone is really good at C6. So Noelle and just C2 in my opinion is A tier. You can really only heal. She's like the Walmart version of Jean in my opinion. There will be Noelle fans mad, but stay mad. Noelle is not as good as Jean, and Noelle, you know, just not that good in my opinion, because I personally don't believe she should be a support. You know, she gives good heals. Let me rephrase that. She shouldn't be a DPS, right? I didn't mean support. She can give heals, but not the best heals. She can give damage, but not the best damage. She is just kind of a jack of all trades character, which in my opinion is kind of not needed when you have someone like Jean, who's the better jack of all trades character, or someone like Qiqi, who's just the godlike healer. When you're really good in one area, it kind of helps you out, because like if you're just a really good damage healer, you already have a spot, right? Kazuha, let me do this real quick. Top 5, because Kazuha needs to be here. Kazuha, I feel like not putting him in the top 5 is a disservice, and not having him a tier above some of these characters is kind of a disservice. I'll figure out who I'm gonna have in this other 5 spot, but for right now, Kazuha is definitely up here. Kazuha is really good. Maybe a Venti up there, but we'll figure that out later. Now, Kokomi. This is what the tier list has been leading up to. Kokomi, I believe, is this will either get people triggered or people satisfied. Do I think she's as good as Qiqi? Healing, no, right? I don't think Kokomi is the better healer than Qiqi, because Qiqi is just a better healer in general, because Kokomi can obviously have 100% uptime healing, but it won't be as good as healing as Qiqi. Damage is obviously better than Qiqi when she's in her ult, of course, not her basic attacks. Is kind of like Barbara, but you know, more damage than Barbara. Where would I put Kokomi? Kokomi is this is kind of hard for me. It's either S- or A+ tier. I'm gonna regret this. S- tier character. No, A+ tier character. I could really go back and forth with this, because Kokomi, she's not the she's kind of like Noelle. She's a jack of all trades character, obviously really good in her own niche. But Qiqi is obviously good in her own niche, as so is Xiao, so is what did I say? Yeah, Xiao, so is Barbara. All of these characters are really good in and every character in A+ tier is really good in their own niche. But you know, obviously Kokomi is good in taser comps, but there's only one good taser comp you can run, which is with Beidou. So you know, if you're not running Beidou, that's kind of just the taser comp is just there. So just being good with one character is, in my opinion, not the best thing. So Kokomi, I might regret this, but I'll have A+ tier. I'm really debating if I should have her S-. Let me know in the comments where I should have her. For me, it's either S- or A+. I just can't put Kokomi. I just look at the people at S- and I think Sara, Kujo Sara, Kaya, Rosaria, are they as good as Kokomi? I'm just not too sure, man. Going back to the top 5, should I put Venti? But like, Kazuha and Venti kind of do the same thing, in my opinion, right? They kind of horde enemies, but Kazuha can be kind of a main DPS sometimes. I'll put Xingqiu top 5. This is my top 5. Now you can obviously see that most of these characters are supports except for Ganyu, because Ganyu's like the best DPS in my opinion. I would argue Venti should be up there, but just not too sure, because you know, Venti is really good. But you know, maybe it's kind of hard to tell, because you know, Venti is definitely up there, right? But just having Kazuha and Venti both in the same, you know, top 5 kind of just defeats the whole purpose of the top 5, because I wouldn't want to have this both the same element, who both kind of do the same thing on the same tier. So that's all for the tier list. Let me know who you have in the top 5. This is currently my top 5. The one who's the most replaceable is Xingqiu, in my opinion. But let me know who you have in your top 5. Let me know where you place Kokomi, because Kokomi is probably going to be the most, you know, controversial one, because this is what the whole video was about. Just let me know where you have her, because I'm going to get a lot of comments on where I should have Kokomi. But that'll be the end for the video, and peace.